Welcome to the Band Director Bootcamp podcast, the go-to place for busy band directors who want practical to build programs while maintaining balance in their lives. This podcast is brought to you by the Empowered Music Educator Academy, where we help directors like you find efficiency, sustainability, and impact in your teaching and leadership. And speaking of impact, our platinum sponsor, Kennelly Keys Music, has been serving musicians with a commitment to quality, reliability, and exceptional service. Whether you need top-tier instruments, expert repairs, or trusted advice, they've got you covered. Now, let's dive in and set the tempo for success.
Welcome to Backstage, the hidden workload of the performing arts, a special mini-series from the Band Director Bootcamp podcast. It's designed especially for music supervisors who are doing everything they can to support their arts educators, but you're still battling budget constraints, burnout, and a system that overlooks the unique demands of performing arts programs. In this series, I'm going to share 10-minute tidbits with takeaways you can use to better support your performing arts staff, especially when they're buried in trip logistics, evaluation paperwork, and late-night rehearsal prep, while other departments get automated support from district-approved AI focused on their content area. You're going to learn how to help your music teachers reclaim their time, reduce burnout, and finally feel seen, and it's not going to add anything to your plate, but you're going to look like a hero. And so welcome to episode 1. My name is Lesley Moffat. I'm a music teacher for over 35 years, and I'm passionate about helping music teachers do this important work with sustainability and being able to do it for as long as I have. And so I'm here to help them do that, because your role as a music supervisor is critical and essential in helping them have the tools they need to support their students for the music education they deserve. Episode 1, I'm going to call Nobody Told Me Teaching Music Meant This Much Administration. Well, let me tell you, I went to college in the 1980s, and we didn't talk about most of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. They trained us to do all the other things for music, but really there was a lot that was left untouched. And a phrase that became familiar, way too familiar for me and many of my colleagues is, I love my job, but it's killing me. It's Sunday night. Your music teachers are buried in logistics, working out the permission slips and the bus schedules and the trip budgets and writing parent emails and doing all that stuff, often from scratch, while their colleagues in other departments have all this district-approved AI tools that they've got at their fingertips that are already pre-programmed to help them do things like write their lesson plans, do assessments, and give feedback and comments, and do the things they need to do. But your performing arts teachers, they're still drowning in the admin work, but other teachers have stuff to help lighten the load. So today I'm going to pull back the curtain on one of the most overlooked equity gaps in school districts, and that is the administrative burden placed on music teachers and why they're often left behind when it comes to AI solutions, right? So we've all seen that, all the cool stuff coming out, check this out, and then we go to look at it, and we music teachers are like, well, where's this stuff for us? Districts acknowledge how important AI is to help with things like streamlining all these things for their other teachers in core subject areas, so that things are easier for the teachers. It's more consistent. Compliance for everyone is easier, and students and teachers win. But boy, we performing arts teachers are often left in the forgotten about, right? And then who's left to pick up the pieces? It's you, the music administrator, who gets called on to do the things or to help with stuff that gets added to your plate that really isn't what you should be doing, but you get stuck doing it. Well, I'm here to talk about some things that we can do to help you, help your teachers, and help yourself in the process. I loved my job, but it was killing me. And a lot of it was the non-teaching things, the things that I've already talked about in the last minute or two here, the things I had to do behind the scenes, or if you will, backstage, to ensure that classes ran smoothly, that I had the facilities rented when I needed to, when we had performances coming up, that I had hauling orders taken care of, that I understood budgets and can do all those things. I mean, the behind the scenes stuff was overwhelming. It's stuff that requires incredible attention to detail, and it's super hard to do that when you've taught all day and you're struggling with like the mental capacity or bandwidth to do these things. And so these aren't just optional things. These are essential tasks that need to be done, and they require a lot of thinking and organization. And for new teachers, they might not even know what to think about or to do when they're planning a trip, for example. What are the things they need to think about and do? And just Googling it might not be enough, but if they had a tool that had that stuff embedded in it, it could be super helpful. So what I want to talk about, this really isn't a teacher problem, it's a support problem. And it's something that's solvable. Okay. When you've got your other teachers who have those tools to go to, and not your band teachers and your choir teachers and orchestra teachers, what could you do? Well, maybe you could become aware of a tool out there, which I've created, called Backstage Buddy, which is part of the Buddy system, something that interacts seamlessly with ChatGPT. I've had Band Director Buddy is a GPT that I customized several years ago that has thousands of people on it using it because it's programmed for what band directors need. It capitalizes on AI and the fast things that can be done with that, and the in-depth research and the formatting of things and all the things it does, but it does it through the lens of a music educator so that the user has much better output than they would even with generic ChatGPT. This takes the tool and maximizes what AI can do for music educators. I remember back in the 1990s when I first started teaching. Actually, I started in the 1980s, but we'll just call it the 90s because it makes me not sound so old. But back then it was literally index cards to keep track of each kid's account for money on their trips and the like, 3-ring binders with paperwork that I would stuff in there. Nothing was real time. I mean, we just did everything very differently. Well, then came the 2000s and we got computers in our classrooms. I had taught almost 10 years before I even had a computer in my classroom. But even when we got those, as cool as they were and as helpful as they were, they didn't have the internet attached or anything. Everything was still local, but it helped us do the work a lot easier than those index cards and 3-ring binders. So that was a huge moment. It was a transition, making things easier. Well, we're at a point where we can make that another huge change like that by using AI as a tool behind the scenes. I don't know if you can imagine what it would be like to have an assistant around full time who like follows you around, does everything you need it to do, doesn't roll its eyes when you ask it to do something or to do it again or to modify it or to write it in different languages so that your families that have different needs or different understandings can understand it. It's amazing what we can do with this kind of a tool, and it frees you as a music administrator up to do other things. But as a music administrator, you've probably been out there saying, hey, how can I help my people like they're doing with other subject areas? And there just haven't been some solutions. But because I'm a nerd and I am all about productivity and wellness tips for busy music educators, I have embraced this tool. I have created it and shared it with thousands of others, and now have created the Backstage Buddy, not just for individuals, but for district supervisors to have to help the staff out. So I want you to think about what is one repetitive administrative tasks your music teachers are still doing manually week after week and year after year? And what would it look like if they had the access to the same kind of tailored AI tools that other departments already use? Would you retain your teachers longer? Would they be able to do more recruiting and retention because they had assistants to help them do it? The possibilities are endless, and I can tell you this because I and others who are using this are sitting back and watching the work get done faster and better and more efficiently, and our programs are benefiting, and we are not sitting there saying, I love my job, but it's killing me. In fact, just a little self-brag here, but October of 2025, my next book coming out is called The Balanced Band Director, and it shows how to incorporate AI as one of many tools to help regain balance, which means staying in the job longer, which is what we all want because longevity is so important in this role. So I would like to invite you, if you're curious, to see what it could look like by checking out the free demo of Backstage Buddy on my website, the letter M, powered, empowerededucator.com. I'll put a link in the comments of the show notes. But this is a custom AI tool built specifically for the unique behind-the-scenes need of your music educators, and it interfaces seamlessly with ChatGPT. This isn't sales pressure or anything. I just want you to see what your staff could do, what could be possible if they finally got the support they deserved, and you come out looking like the hero for providing it. So that's a wrap on this special edition of Backstage, the hidden workload of the performing arts. I want to thank the Empowered Music Educator Academy for their sponsorship of this podcast, and I want to invite you to join us for our next episode, where we're going to unpack the 3 questions music teachers shouldn't have to answer all year long and how you can help end the cycle of overwhelm for you and your staff. See you next time.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Band Director Bootcamp podcast. Remember, success in music education isn't just about what happens on the podium. It's about taking care of yourself and setting up systems that work for you. The Empowered Music Educator Academy is here to help you do just that. So be sure to check out our resources at empowerededucator.com. And of course, a huge thank you to Kennelly Keys Music, our platinum sponsor, for their unwavering support of music educators like you. Whether you need instruments, accessories, or expert advice, their team is ready to help. Thanks for listening, and keep making music happen.